How's it going, mate?
Doing great, man. Good to be talking to you. How you doing?
Oh, doing well, doing well. Max, congratulations on the album Charmer. Are you happy with how the album's been received thus far?
Very happy. I think definitely feels something special about this one. And after even so many records like I've done, expect the unexpected. That's my mantra. Um, but it feels good to be so well received by the fans and by the reviews too. The reviews were amazing on the record. It feels like a lot of reviews they mentioned felt like Soulfly found the rekindle with the old flame from the beginning.
Yes.
And I kind of agree with that because I think the amount of inspiration was high on this one on Shama. We're very inspired, and inspiration is a funny thing. It doesn't happen all the time, and when it happens, you better enjoy it. You better grab it. You better ride it. Because there's moments where it's not here and it's not fun.
Yeah.
Uh, you're with your guitar and nothing cool is coming out, and you're just like, oh, you just
Yeah.
anxiety. But yeah, I feel Shama is very. It's a cool record, man. It's got a cool story behind. It's got a cool name.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
got a cool album cover. I feel it's
Mm.
definitely one of the strongest Soulfly records that we put out in a while.
Yeah, and definitely one of the most experimental out of your collection because just listening to it, you're really exploring some sounds. Is that something that
Right.
you really groove on, just looking for the new sound?
That's actually not me, not my idea. That was my son Zion produced the record.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
came from him. He's really into a lot of newer bands that are doing stuff right now. Stuff like Body Box and
Mm.
some other newer bands. And he actually had the idea to make this kind of sonic landscape, almost like psychotic a little bit. It feels a
Yeah.
bit uncomfortable even at some point.
Mm.
If you listen in headphones, it feels like there's noises coming from everywhere, attacking you from everywhere. You've been attacked,
Yeah.
My job was to make the riff and make the riff and the vocals combine together. Um,
Mm.
Ryan was the pounding of the drums, and then we put the percussion on top of it. But then he also put all this electronic sounding stuff. Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
It
I think
is.
it's. I never done a record like that before, where you put the layers of sound on top of it, and
Yeah.
I found it to be very. Yeah, it feels raw and energetic, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really dense, and the story from by Igor is kind of like a concept album where you've got this person going into the jungle and doing a bit of self-discovery. And when you put on the headphones, it feels like you're actually in the jungle and all these different things are happening. Would that be fair to say on a sonic level?
That's cool if you got that vibe from it. I
Mm,
mean, one of the reviews I read was really cool. Um, the guy was mentioning the instrumental song Soulfly 13, and he said that it feels like Max and Zion were in a trip together in the Amazon, and they took some ayahuasca together, and they were tripping when they made this song. I love that. I think that's
mm,
exactly how Soulfly 13 feels like. It's very esoteric and haunting kind of sounding. There's like a
yeah.
haunting melody vibe going on Soulfly 13. And I think it feels perfect right there on a record because then you get Shama right
Mm,
after that. It's a very strong song, finishes the record strong. Um, I think it's cool. If you get you if a record can transport you somewhere, I always love that, because I think it's the power of imagination,
yeah.
growing up as a metal fan myself, so many places, but Iron Maiden album took me, Metallica and all of that, so if the record can make that to you, can transport you somewhere, yeah, it's amazing. It's really great that the you can use your imagination, especially if you're looking at the album cover,
Yeah.
and you're reading the story, and
Mm,
I would love to do some kind of animation video to go with that story. That would
yes.
have been cool. Maybe next year we can come up with something like that to go. Maybe we can do on the instrumental song. Just have this animation story with the
Yeah.
boy and the favelas and going into the jungle and the whole thing. So that should be cool. Let's hope we can pull that out.
Yeah, absolutely. Was this album a long one to record or fairly speedy?
It took a long time to get it done. We spent quite amount of time, I guess, writing. I took my time on the writing. I didn't want to hurry. I did not needed to hurry, and so I took the time to find the right riffs, the right modes. Um, if you listen to a song like "Storm the Gates," it's very prepared with that retro soulfly sound from the early era. Um, so I took make those things happen, and then you have experimental stuff like Gehenna and always was, always will be, a little bit of drum machine. Um,
Mm,
there was a good amount of time in the studio, so we didn't do it all at once, which was cool. We did some parts of it. I think I went on tour, did some other tour with Cavalera or something. Um, and I think that's cool because I came back from those tours inspired by the touring and the fans and
mm,
what you see on the road, and you bring that right back to the studio. And so I think Shama had a little bit of all that. Um, and so yeah, I think in the end of the day, it was really fun. I mean, we had a song with Dino as well. No power, no pain equals no power. Um, we had our friend Dino come to Arizona and ride that with us. That was kind of cool too, kind of like a jam session. Just me, Zion, and Dino jamming in a room. And that was a fantastic moment. It was like, me and Dino are veterans of this game, so we've been through everything. But when you're in the studio in that moment, and you're smiling from green to green, it's like you're onto something cool. You're onto
mm.
something good. It's an exciting thing that's coming out of the speakers. And so that song had a little bit of a better treatment. I think we spent a little bit more time on that song with the guest
Yep.
vocals as well.
Mm.
So yeah, I think overall, a little bit more time than I normally spend in the studio, but um, actually quite cool. I think we used the time really well.
Yeah, it was time well spent. When you are in the studio, do you jam a lot of ideas that turn into songs, or a lot of it's demoed outside the studio and you bring it in and then refine it?
There's all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of, like, we went through a lot of riffs and a lot of songwriting ideas that eventually, like I was saying, like a song like "Storm the Gates." I had the whole song pretty much demo out at home. I do that in my living room right here. So that
Mm,
kind of, like, you just take that to the studio and bring that to life. But there's some other stuff that we totally did it in the studio, and that was like. I think one of the songs that was kind of like, yeah, no pain equals no power was entirely done in the studio.
wow.
Because we didn't have a I didn't have a starting riff, and that's Dino came up with the opening riff, and we follow him.
Mm,
Then we start adding more parts and this and that. So yeah, it's a combination of that. But I do amount of writing before. I try to be get as prepared as I can to bring that stuff to the studio. So you have like a lot of stuff to work with. So you're not just sitting there and be with the pressure to write it on the spot, because that can be
yeah.
quite uh, quite hard too. So if you have a lot of stuff prepared, you can have that as a starting point, and then you can work with that for a little bit.
Mm,
And then other things will fall into place. So it's a combination of all of that. But I think that's kind of cool because and I think all of my records are done like that for a long time. Back in the Sepultura days, there's
Yep.
a huge amount of stuff I do at home. Roots was a good example of that. I did a lot of in-home writing, and we
Mm.
took that to California and turned those into songs. And then a lot of stuff happened in the studio, like Rata Mahata is a total jam song that was born in the studio. Just like no pain equals no power.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have riffs in your head all the time? Do you actually wake up in the middle of the night and you got a riff?
Not all the
Um,
time. I kind of joke with people that I go reef hunting in the desert. Um, yeah, a lot of times I go for walks, clear my head. I go for a little hike in the desert and come back and I start jamming the guitar and the riff comes out. Um,
mm,
a couple of times there's been some pre preordained riffs in my head that I woke up with it and I had to go record. I think there was one. I think it was like 6, 5 in the morning. I woke up. I woke up Gloria like you have to record this. This I'm gonna forget it.
like now, got to get it down now.
Yeah, yeah, and you have to do it because you will forget it. So this is a tip for
Yes.
everybody, musicians out there. If you have a good riff, a good idea, record it. Don't wait till
Mm,
later. Don't wait till the afternoon. Oh, I record it later because it'll be gone. Do it.
mm. How important is it to have a good producer that understands you and the band in the studio?
W nieruchomości online.pl wiemy, że za każdym ogłoszeniem kryje się historia i ktoś taki jak ty. A ty? Dlaczego tak naprawdę szukasz? Nieruchomości online.pl. Tu zaczyna się dom.
W mBanku ułatwimy Ci założenie i firmy, i konta, a Ty ciesz się własnym sukcesem. mBank.
It's not really about being I guess a good producer. It's about being passionate about the project more than anything else. You just got to give a shit. And that to me, that's the ultimate sign of a good producer is that you care. You care for the project. And you give everything to this project. You put your heart and soul and everything in it. And that's why to me, it feels to me like Shama is done with a kid Zion that has never produced before, has no production experience whatsoever, but had a huge amount of inspiration and passion, and that's all you really need. And I work with big names like Andy Wallace, where yeah, it's kind of like very experienced. It's a different result. But in the end of the day, uh, you notice that they care for the project, and that's to me that's the coolest. I've been actually very lucky. Like all people I work with are they care. They care for the records. Um, uh, there's been one or two instances where it was a little bit, um, maybe less uh, inspired, but most of it I've been very lucky, and I got to work with some great people. But to me, it was exciting and nerve wracking at the same time, giving the keys to Zion to drive the car. Like, I've
Yeah.
never done so it's a risk. It was a risk. Um, but I love taking risks. I think this is part of a musician. I think a musician um, that want to you gotta sometimes you just gotta jump, close your eyes and jump without knowing where you're gonna land, and that's it, and just hope you're gonna land okay.
Yeah.
Um, and that's part of it, man. Like I work better when I'm uncomfortable, when I'm not in my total control element.
Comfort zone. Out of your
Yeah, out
comfort
of
zone.
zone,
Yeah.
get the best results. So for me, records like Beneath the Remains, Soulfly One, Shama are examples of that where it's not really fun to make. It's actually a huge amount of anxiety. I probably have a bunch of ulcers from those records. I'm not joking. It's I truly have ulcers from anxiety from making those all those records through these years. Uh, but the result is fantastic. You know, it's a good result. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's a little bit of a painful process to go through, but in the end of the day, it pays off because you get something really cool that the fans really love it. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you're on record that writing lyrics is not your favourite part of it. Do you still feel the same way, or you're
Yeah.
getting better at sort of reconciling with that?
I like singing them. I enjoy singing, especially if
Mm,
Shama is the record where I came back to like hitting myself again in the studio to really feel the songs and, even if you get bruised up, it's all part of the experience, scratch yourself to get the,
yeah.
uh, uh, the goosebumps, and, I like singing them. I like I like singing when people write something or the lyrics. Like on this album, my sons helped me with the lyrics, and one of their line or some of the lyrics were great or amazing. I really love singing them.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of times I do hit some real good liners that I really like. But honestly, yeah, it feels like homework. It's tedious. It's like not my favorite cup of tea. I prefer to spend time with my guitar writing riffs. That's where I really love it. That's I really enjoy it.
Mm,
But it's a necessary evil. You need the lyrics,
yeah,
especially
absolutely. I, I
that's
find
the
that
way I feel.
strange because your lyrics are really good, and it kind of reminds me of Geezer Butler and Black Sabbath. He's written some great lyrics, and he hates it. He doesn't like writing lyrics.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's a similar thing. He has
yeah, and I think he feels the same way, like a bit of an ordeal. But he's written some great lyrics, and so have you. So I just
thank
find
well,
that strange.
appreciate it. But I'm honestly speaking to you that I don't like it. That I It's the least favorite process of the whole record
Yeah,
making. The lyrics is like my least favorite, and then
yeah,
there's other people that love it. Like my son Igor, he loves. He said he worship words. He's a writer of books, so he loves words. He loves. Um, I love when you find something that is gonna fit the song, and then you go sing it, and it fits perfectly, and then even before you ever played that one live, you say, when I sing this live, you know, people gonna go off. They're gonna love it. They're gonna sing together. They're gonna. Um, it's kind of like we call it. What is it? The hooks. Sometimes you gotta have the hooks that people really. They're almost like nurse. Nursery rhymes, like lullabies for kids. As the simpler the better. Like to me, songs like Roots Bloody Roots are as the simplest.
W strefie biznesu Credit Agricole możesz wystawiać, wysyłać i odbierać faktury elektronicznie zgodnie z KSEF.
The one that I actually tried to redo Eye for an Eye, and like I tried to redo it, and sometimes that magic you only catch it once. You can try to catch it again, and it's not gonna be the same as the original is always the best one, the greatest one.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess with lyrics and music, sometimes it just meshes and it's just magic. And a lot of your
Exactly.
songs have just had that synergy. Hey, when you were recording this album, was there any sort of metal or punk act or music that you sort of listened from other bands just to get you in the groove or inspire you before you go into laying tracks?
Oh yeah, all the time. And music inspiration forever. Like every record I've ever done, it's always been inspired by the music I'm listening to. In the meantime, in fact, I kind of also look for inspiration outside metal. Which I think is really cool. If you can find it, go listen to something like Massive Attack or Dead Can Dance. And if you find something in that outside music that's not metal that you can borrow and put you on your metal, it's great. That's to me like really cool. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, it's really exciting. But yeah, I listen to music in a regular basis. Like I enjoy a lot of underground bands. I still feel like a young kid at heart. Like I'm a metalhead at heart, and that's something that I take pride, and I feel that it's something that is up to me not to let that uh, not to let that die. Some people lose that interest through the years. They get older and they lose interest. I'm a lifer. Um, this thing is gonna be with me forever. And music, I find music to be totally, like you say, magic. It's the best explanation. There's
Yeah.
something about it that I don't think even scientists can figure out why it does what it does. Um, and that's why, like, I don't really care much for the technical side of music. I care more about the feeling. So to me, you don't need to be a maestro to be good. Just couple of chords. If you do it the right way with feeling, you're good. It's gonna hit just as hard as somebody that has studied 30 years and knows every
Yeah.
note, every thing about it. So I love the magic side of music.
Yeah, interesting. Like metal is such a big tree, isn't it? There's so many different types of metal. Do you think there's some metal that just got too technical and just lost the feeling? There's some genres of metal that it's just too much technique.
I don't know. I feel sometimes some production sometimes I hear it feels a bit over overproduced um to the top.
Sterile?
Yeah, like plastic, like
Yeah.
pop music, like
Mm,
because metal I think is the furthest thing from pop music that you can get. Um, because it's like it's outsider music. I feel we are like uh, on outside of society, and
mm,
uh, I think if you try to make that plastic fake pop metal, to me it loses the soul of it. It loses the
mm,
heart. Um, it loses why we like metal in the first place. We like it because it was rebellious
mm.
and outrageous, and your neighbor hated. That
Yeah.
type. You know, um, I can't say my parents hated because my mom actually was a fan. Um, even your parents not supposed to like it. Uh, and I feel, and that's why I like raw productions like Shama. I didn't want a real polished pop production. I think that kills the soul of the music.
There's some real ambient moments on the album. Would you ever consider one day just doing a project which is kind of non-metal and explores your love for that side of music? Because you were saying like you listen to some other music, like Massive Attack. Would you ever consider doing a trip hop album or something a little bit non-metal?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I thought for a while. I always kind of I either go back to. I'm always attracted to the heaviness side of it, but I
Mm,
do love those interludes, and I think those are actually things that make Soulfly different from a lot
yes.
of other things. Um, on Shama, in the end of Shama, we have a little section, and in the studio we were joking, sounded like Pink Floyd, and we kind of ran with that, and it was like this is a Pink Floyd section. Um, it's like more ambient stuff. It's cool. I like to combine that. And another thing Soulfly does a lot also live. We have all these tribal intros and outros now more than ever.
Mm,
Um, I think that creates atmospheric makes the Soulfly show unique. It's very, very unique in its own way. Like all these crazy tribal sounds are coming out of the speakers in between songs, and some of it it's us actually playing them, in these all these interludes and stuff. I find that to be really cool. It's fun. It's actually fun to play, but make a whole record of that. People have asked me to do like a whole record of instrumentals, like just apply instrumentals, that type stuff. Uh, I'm not there yet, but the thought is actually has entered my mind for a little bit.
It's on the laundry list to do. A to-do
Come on,
list
bro.
in the
Yeah.
future. Hey, you guys played Ozfest in '98 and 2000. How important were those festivals in getting the band out there to the wider?
Majonez dekoracyjny winiary robi różnicę na kanapkach.
Public.
It was great, man. It was. I think that festival on itself it was amazing. Like the way it was created, um, and I know for a fact that it was a response from Ozzy. I think Sharon tried to get Ozzy on Lollapalooza, and they laughed at her and him, and told her that he was a washed up rock star, which has no place in Lollapalooza. And her response to that was create their own festival, Ozfest, which just became bigger than Lollapalooza. And I love that. I love the story. Um, it was crazy. It was like a lot of different bands, going across country. There was a lot of crazy shit. I remember a lot of crazy shit going on at that time. But yeah, for Soulfly to get Soulfly going, it was really cool. I think it gave us a uh, real big kick in the beginning of our career. Soulfly One was actually gold. Soulfly One and Primitive, they both went gold in America, um, which is back then when people bought records. Like now,
Major.
yeah, people now it's free and all that. It's all stream, but you gotta stream a trillion thousand listeners to get $100.
Yeah.
But it was a different time. But yeah, definitely important for the band to get some. But I believe on everything. I believe those important. I also believe carving your own path is also important. Doing no matter how small the show, do the show with the same amount of energy and excitement that if you're playing a 100,000 festival crowd. We try to at least, and I'm always big believer of that. That's why I always give a big. If I see a band member and that we're playing a small place, there's only 100 people. If one band member complains, he's gonna get he's gonna hear from. I'll put him on his place. Like those 100 people are a hunts. They're here to see you, even if it's small. That kind of attitude, I think it's important to have that, and I think some bands kind of lose sight of that. They just want the big things in life, just the
Yeah.
big show. And to me, I don't care like really, small show, big show. It's more about the people there are connecting with you. Then great. Then it doesn't matter how many people are there.
Yeah. Now you raise an interesting point because I've got this theory that a lot of bands that go into stadium rock, it's like no turning back. They can't go back to a club. They don't know how to play a club because they're just so used to the bells and whistles and the staging. You know what I mean? They lose themselves a bit. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, okay, I think it could be. I mean, I myself kind of experienced a lot of all of it, like all the big festivals, the big shows. And I honestly, I had some big shows that were worse to me than playing for 100 people. They
Mm,
felt worst. It was like disconnected. Nobody gave a shit that you were there. They were
yeah,
just uh, there's a shitload of people, but they really don't care.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
there. Um, where, like I say, like 100 people that really want to see you there, you can have
Ab-
an amazing show.
Absolutely, especially when you're playing a festival at like midday, like the sun's coming down. Because if you play a festival set at night or sundown, that's great. But when you're playing that first spot, it's kind of hard to work an audience, isn't it?
Oh, I done it. I done a shit ton of all of that. Uh, they're hard, but it's all part of it.
Yeah, part of the
The other
journey.
the other side of the coin of that is that how to it's kind of like a battle. Let's go win you know those people in the middle of the day. Let's go at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. How do we flip them so they like us? One of the most nerve wracking shows I ever done was it was called the Gathering of the Juggalos, and it was uh, the Insane Clown Posse guys festival because they have their own crowd and they don't really like you first, and so I remember getting hit with sodas in the stomach in the first couple songs and people throwing shit. Little by little, though, we were like conquering them, and by the end of the set, everybody was on board with Soulfly. That was great. I felt like I won a battle. It's like, yes, we fucking did it. We
Yeah.
came in. They hated us in the beginning. We marched through, and we got through. It was great. But it was nerve wracking.
Yeah, no, I've heard they're pretty tough fans that mod.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to do it though. It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. Well, what can Australia expect with Soulfly live this time around? You are playing dates in January, so folks, if you haven't got a ticket, do yourself a favour and get one. What can we expect?
Great show. We're gonna be nail bomb Soulfly together. It's gonna be a great concert. Get there early. Froth and Fury Festival. Also, I heard great things about this festival. I think this is gonna be amazing. Yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Great way to start the year. Playing Shama, playing all the classics. It's gonna be fantastic, man. I wanna thank you for the interview. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. It's been wonderful talking to you, and I'd love to talk to you again sometime and see what else is up for Soulfly in 2026 and beyond.
Thanks a lot, brother. Happy
All
holidays
right.
to you.
All the best. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, take care, man.
Dołącz do Dzieja Klubu i zapisz się na wideo dermokonsultację. Otrzymasz ode mnie dopasowany do potrzeb Twojej skóry